spring, but I won't forget the little things. I won't forget our wonderland. No, I won't forget our wonderland.
Hey everybody, it's me, Alura. So I'm back and wanted to do another video, and there's been a lot on my mind. I mean, we've covered so much in the last couple of years that just thinking back on it all is like so overwhelming, isn't it? Like from the illumination teachings and going into the predictions and the consciousness and the shift of how everything was going to go down. It really took a toll on a lot of people, and I am very surprised, only in a sense that I gave everybody forewarnings, and I put these long lists of symptoms down, what to look for, what to avoid, and what to be prepared with, you know, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even in the sense of physically for the predictions that were coming true out there in the world. And to see so many people fall into it anyway, it was like so heartbreaking. You know, I can't sit here and say that I haven't been changed myself. I have been through a lot in the last couple of years too. Like, you have no idea. Like, from my heart and my soul, I have been through more than I could imagine. And I've been through a lot of hard things in my life. You know, I've been through a lot of hard things, you know, and that is the path that immortal souls that are here from heaven, that have a great mission to do something wonderful, or many things wonderful, you know, we go through suffering. You know, it is our way of learning and gaining wisdom and strength, and, you know, even strengthening the virtues that we are already made with. And a lot of people look at pain and suffering in very negative light, and while you could avoid a lot of that by having insight, by having the right tools and the right advice from spirit or the heavens, you know, there are things that you can avoid, especially being here. I mean, we're in 3D. This is the lowest frequency. It really is. 3D is 3D, it's animated, and 2D is flat, and, you know, you go up there into the higher planes and it becomes spiritually more expanded. And being here, this is the one realm that the soul is totally and utterly confined to the physical form, and it holds you back in so many ways. It holds you back so many ways, emotionally, and through your own spiritual powers, through remembering things that you need to remember. But you know what? A lot of people ask me, you know, why don't we remember our past lifetimes? And it's because they don't want you to, you know, because if you remember, you're going to have all that wisdom that you had from the last life. But what's furthermore is that for some people, even if they had it, it's going to distract them. You know, imagine a time in your earlier life, in this lifetime, and you had such a beautiful time. It was a magical time, full of nostalgia and sentiment, and you look back on that time, you can't let it go. Like, there's a lot of people that live in the past, there really are. And imagine, you know, how much worse that can be for someone that remembers all of their past, you know, all of the good times of the past, and they love somebody that isn't in that lifetime with them, and they just, you know, don't want nobody else, they don't want to have the experiences, and they have to seek them out, and, you know, it's a life mission that leads to a dead-end road, and that can be hard. It really can. You know, coming here, it was hard for me. You know, I'm not going to tell you a lie. It was hard for me because, you know, I remembered everything, and I missed a lot of those people, and when I recognized them and I ran into them, like, I couldn't exclaim my love and how happy I really was to see them again, you know. But that's how it goes, you know, for most, and I have to kind of blend in with most, or, you know, I'm just not going to be able to function here. But I've been through a lot of pain and suffering, and coming into this lifetime later, you know, it was a great time when I started my work, helping a lot of other people and meeting so many beautiful souls that I came to help. And, you know, I even made some really beautiful friends. And then all of a sudden, you know, those predictions came true. And when that dark consciousness came in, it really affected a lot of people. It really did. I mean, I can't express to you the things that I see. You know, there were people that were so excited and couldn't wait to work with me. And then after even having seen proof and proof in their personal readings, you know, they slowly started to shift, and they started to shift towards their families, their friends, and they would get more numb and more cold in the way that they spoke. The communications, it was either not there at all, or it was just defensive and inconsiderate. And I noticed that happened to a lot of people. It really did. And going further into this, like, people, they got more intertwined into everyday life again. When they worked all those years on mastering themselves, they just, in a sudden instant, gave up. And I felt so sad for them. I really did. It's like, you were so close. You know, if you would have known how close you were, you know, would you have given up then? But did they really have a choice, or were they just utterly influenced? You know, the energies are heavy. People feel them. And I've said this to other clients. I've said this to my family. You know, walking around this energy, it feels like somebody has died. It really does. It feels like you have lost something that you will never get back, but you don't know what it is. And that's for the majority, you know. And that's because people feel something. They do. They feel something that's coming, and they don't want to, you know, be honest with themselves about it. But, you know, if they choose to ignore it, then that's their choice. You know, we can't force them to acknowledge it. But I did notice that, you know, I noticed a big change in a lot of people, where people respected spirit, where they respected me or heaven or anything related to that subject. Either they gave up totally, or they just started to act coldly, you know. And there are so many things going on in this world, like behind the scenes, and you can't trust anybody anymore. And people are losing their faith. Not only that, but that's a part of the propaganda, is to get rid of faith, to get rid of acknowledging a God figure. You know, the idea of God being an old man floating on a cloud is gone. You know, that's, you know, it never made any sense anyway. But there is a creator. There are a lot of gods out there in the universe and in different planets and star systems, and people have to realize, just like we're here, like, you can't ignore the fact that we're here. You know, what are we? You know, there are others out there that are living up there in those higher planes, and they do have more authority and power over physicality, you know, than humans do. So there is a creator, and all of this came to be, and there are rulers and principalities and dominions, and that's, you know, just how it goes. But people want to not believe, and they are trying to get rid of the idea of religion, of going to church, of having faith, and even holidays like Halloween. You know, anything that pertains to Christian related things or religious related things, they are trying to do away with it. You know, they're trying to make this a world where you're free to do whatever you want to do, just don't incorporate everybody else like it used to be. It used to be nationwide celebration, and they want to get rid of that. They want to get rid of so much. They want to get rid of the idea and concept of family, people sticking together. People are so segregated today. They really are. They are living in separate rooms, and it has gotten to be so cold. And I look at it and I see it every day in so many different people, and I'm telling you, like, family's all that you got left. You know, people are so judgmental, and they rag on their families and they pick on them, and it's like, you know, in the beginning of the spiritual journey, it's like, oh, well, you don't do this, and you're not a higher vibration, and you don't understand, and ew, you eat animals. That's what I saw a lot of people doing. And I'm thinking, how can you judge those people? Like, they're not ready yet. They're not ready yet. But you have to be kind and loving and merciful. And in some instances, for parents, you have to be firm. You know, you have to do what you have to do. You have to do it the right way. And if you don't know how to do it, you got to find out, because family's all that you got. You know, you go out there, you bring someone into your life, they could become close, like a relative. They could be the one person that is always there for you, closer than even family. You know, but the chances of that now are very slim, because everybody's looking out for themselves, and everybody wants fame, and everybody wants money, and everybody wants to look perfect and to be the ultimate idea of themselves. And they'll go to the extent of fooling other people and lying to them to achieve that. You know, if they're not perfect, they'll Photoshop themselves. They'll do whatever they got to do. And it's this world. You know, we go back to things that are so grotesque, so heinous, that are happening right under everybody's noses, and people have turned a blind eye to it for so long. And, you know, like Archangel Gabriel said, you know, people are going to start seeing who condoned a lot of things, you know, that were going on, that they pretended that they didn't. You know, for an example, if you go up to somebody and you're talking to them about seafood, but they really like it, and you say, hey, you know, you ought to try this seafood, and they don't want to eat it, but they'll say, ew, I don't like it. But deep down inside, they really, really do. They just don't want to eat it for whatever reason. That's how it is. You know, people are like that nowadays. They don't say what they mean. They don't mean what they say. And everybody is living in a state of illusion. It's really come to this point in this world where you don't have to be perfect. You know, when you're working towards illumination, you're working towards perfecting yourself, but that's becoming the best that you can be, not comparing yourself to others. And I've seen a lot of people do that. They've compared themselves, wow, this person's further in their path, and, you know, look, they're close to, you know, practicing some of the things that their teacher practices, so wow, they must be close there, so I've got to say that I'm there, everyone's going to look down on me, I don't want them to think that. You know, and it's, you got to stop caring about what other people think. You have to worry about what you think, and you have to do what's right, and you can't allow your heart inside. This is like, what, the third video I've done saying this, like, please don't give up, don't lose faith. How can you have so much faith in the beginning of your journey, working towards so many things, and then later on, when there's proof of so much more, give up? Like, it doesn't make sense. Ask yourself, why does this make sense? Like, it doesn't. Get back on track. Stop beating yourself up. Take what you've learned about yourself in a negative sense and use it as a constructive criticism, and use it to empower yourself to be better. Don't say, oh, I'm just, you know, I'm not there yet, so I'm just not good enough. Don't do that, you know? Keep fighting for what you believe in and what you want the most. And, you know, if you are somebody that wants to change but can't because you're in a situation, maybe you're in a harsh situation and you can't get out of it, and you're trying to change, and you're trying to make things change around you, and it seems like you have no power to do that, you know, just have faith in God. Know that heaven is doing their work. It takes time. You know, prayer doesn't happen when you want it to happen. It happens when heaven has put together a lot of different events and people, places, and things to work to answer your prayer, your request, you know? It doesn't just happen like that. And that's what a lot of people have really believed for so long, you know, and that's why they've given up on prayer or God. You have to understand, things have to take place, lessons have to be learned, other people have to get involved for prayers to come true, and it takes time. Like, what if the heavens have been persistently trying to influence that person through signs all around them to give you that loan that you needed so much that they said no about, you know? And then all of a sudden, you know, one day after all those persistent messages, heaven says, well, that's not working, we're going to send a person in. And they send, like, their cousin, and they say, look, you should loan them the money, like, that's the right thing to do. And all of a sudden, your prayer got answered. You get your loan, and you get what you need. And that's just an example of many things. But that's how it works, you know. But human beings are very stubborn and very closed off to sacred wisdom. I've seen people disrespect my wisdom. I've seen them disrespect my wisdom. I mean, I really have. It is not easy, but it's possible to get back on your feet and to keep fighting. If you give up, like, why would you want to, like, give up and stay at a vibration that keeps you in this world, like, anymore? Like, I wouldn't. I know I wouldn't. I don't like this world. Oh, Lord. I don't like this planet. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to insult anybody, like, that's in the hierarchy spiritually of the planet. I know it's not their fault. It's rebellious humans, but it is beautiful in its creation, but the way that it's run and all of the things that are going on the earth, like on a physical level by physical beings, like it's just really, it really is horrible. You know, there's so much corruption, and the corruption just spirals more and more out of control. I mean, I said even with the immigrant situation, I said, you know, those kids are some of them are not going to ever see their parents again, and they didn't, you know, and they won't, because they're involved in something that's very sinister, you know, and that's what you have going on under the scenes here in this country. And it takes strength, and it takes power, and it takes inner wisdom to get together peacefully with people and say, listen, this is not what we want, and to take a stand, you know. And I've tried to do that for a very long time, and they just always block me. They don't want benevolence or saintly attributes or kindness to be there. No, they want corruption, because they want you to feed into the corruption, because they have even more things out there that they're going to try and entice you to get involved in financially, and you're being robbed for everything you work hard for. Everything you work for goes right back to the same people that gave it to you, so you're being scammed on like a whole other level. But listen, keep your head up and don't allow yourself to stray, okay? You don't have to be perfect. Just do your best, and changes you can't make now, they will be made later. And I'm here. I'm your friend. Like, don't abandon me. I'm still going. Like, I wasn't around for the longest time because, you know, I lost my dad, and, you know, I have some other things going on that, you know, they are very clear, but I'm still waiting for some things to come through. Mainly just, you know, looking for some very concrete signs and things so I can get back into, you know, the swing of things regularly, like I'd like to, especially when it comes to this outrageous schedule. You know, one of my students or clients, well, my friend, has said that the other day. She's like, yeah, I order something off your site, and I'm, you know, sometimes imagining there's only 10 other, you know, orders for it, but I forget, you know, you're getting up there. And it's like, people do. You know, I'm not deliberately sitting here twiddling my thumbs or trying to avoid you or not do your work. Like, I'm booked, you know. We have to have consideration for each other here. Help me out. But I love you all so much, and I hate to see a lot of you going through what you're going through, and I've been sad too. I do feel that emptiness. I do feel the hopelessness coming from a lot of people. I do channel into it, and I do fall right into it when I channel into it, because it's like taking it into yourself. It's like, wow, people feel this way. This is awful. It's like a endless hopelessness, and it doesn't subside, you know, and you have to replace that. And a lot of people try, and they feel like they can't, because it just, nothing fills that void. The only thing that's going to fill the void is the one thing that you're going to have trouble finding the most right now, and that is yourself again. Not to mention a relationship with spirit, and you're finding what you love, because living in this world, you've tried things, you've been there and done that, and nothing appeals, because you realize like everything is at a price, and you know that it really doesn't pay off. It's not worth it anyway, you know. There's nothing else to latch on to. You have to find something to latch on to. You have to find something that you love so much to keep that faith going, because once you lose that, once you lose that love, once you lose that, everything else is gone. And that's why a lot of people are feeling as they are today. Thank you so much for watching. I have a lot of great videos coming up. I want to entertain people as well as educate them, but I find that, you know, I do have a limited reach, and that's okay. I will put these videos up until the day I die. Hopefully someday some of you will come back and, you know, look back on me and say, wow, you know, Laura, she taught me a lot. But I'm always here. I love you. I'll see you all at some further time in the future. Bye.